Liam,
Yes.
what is red and white and red and white and red and white and red and white?
Santa dressed up as Where's Wally?
Santa Claus rolling down a hill.
That's a much better answer.
What do you call people who are afraid of Santa Claus?
Claustrophobic.
Yes!
That's a great joke. Oh, that's excellent. What a great wordplay.
What do you get if Santa comes down the chimney while the fire is still burning?
Cool. I don't know. What do we get?
Crisp Kringle.
Oh, wow. That's not bad as well, actually.
All right.
Oh, so why are you giving me
Saga.
these wonderful Santa jokes?
Because today we will be discussing Santa.
Santa?
Yeah. I know him.
You know him? I have yet to
Yeah.
meet him. I'm still on the journey of trying to see him every Christmas, but he somehow outwits me every year. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's alright. I'll get him eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, okay then. Let's get into that then. So, let's get ready to mumble! Yay! I think that one was better timed. If you listened to last week, listeners, you would have heard that we kind of messed that up because once more we're doing another Skype mumblecast. So I think we've kind of timed that a bit better. Plus, I think our Wi-Fi is working a bit better now.
Yeah.
That's good. All right. So, Santa Claus. Kayla, do tell.
Yes.
Who is Santa Claus?
He is... Modern day Santa Claus is the guy who brings you presents at Christmas.
Yes, he is. Have you always called him Santa Claus or Santa?
I have.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, that's always been pretty much the only name I've ever called him. I think he does get called a fair few other things. My mum will sometimes refer to him as Saint Nicholas or Saint Nick, like if she's being I don't know, nostalgic or something. I'm not sure, but yeah.
Okay.
I think he's also, what's the other names is he known as?
Father Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Kris Kringle.
I can't think of any others. I should really
Saint
know.
Nicholas. Sinterklaas.
Oh, that sounds like a different country's version. In Germany or something.
Yeah.
Santa Claus.
The Netherlands.
Netherlands, alright.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I know.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right. I'm sure there's a bunch of other ones in that, but they're the ones that us and our listeners probably care about. So, Santa Claus, where does he come from? I think one of his names gives you a rough idea, but do tell.
So, modern day Santa he grew out of three different traditions. The first one was Saint Nicholas, who was a bishop in Asia Minor. He was a historic Christian saint, a secret gift giver. Some miracles were attributed to him, so that's kind of like where part of it comes from. The second part was Father Christmas.
Do you think that name, secret gift giver, is kind of like, I wonder if they twist that to being a nice thing? You know, like, for some reason in my head, when you had secret gift giver, what it came in my head was people leaving poo on people's doorsteps in a bag. I don't know why.
Maybe he did that.
Maybe he did, we don't know.
Maybe that's where like the coal came in.
Yeah, that could be it. I don't know why that came to mind. Secret gift giver. Anyway, sorry, carry on. So he's a Greek guy who gives gifts secretly.
Yeah. The second one was Father Christmas. He was first recorded in the 15th century and maintained throughout. He was adopted as a symbol of like feasting and good cheer, and then later connected to children as like a gift bringer. So then that's kind of where the second one came in, and then the third one was Sinterklaas, and he is Dutch, and he's the patron saint of children. And we can get more into like, I can explain a lot about Sinterklaas and that whole tradition later if we talk about how other countries celebrate Santa Claus, because it's very different. But so that's where the third one came in. And so a combination of those three kind of merged and created the modern day Santa, who is the gift giver, joyous, cheerful person that we know.
So what does this Sinterklaas, the Dutch version, what does that translate to? Like the name?
Sinterklaas,
Because
they have like They have like a Saint Nicholas Day. Nicholas Day.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it actually, like, that direct translation from Santa Claus is.
But that's just British, like, English-speaking people changing it to Santa Claus. That was just how that works. Mm-hmm. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it'd be interesting to know where Santa Claus comes from. But anyway, all right. And so those three things combined together, bit of Western society, and it becomes Santa Claus.
Yes.
Huh. Very good. And so when you said that started way back, well, the saint was way back, and then Father Christmas was what, 15th, 16th century? Mm-hmm. Okay. And how has it become the tradition today? So tell me about how you envision Santa Claus now and when you were a kid and stuff.
Just as basically this kind of really fat guy who had a white beard and white hair and red clothes. Mm-hmm. And he'd come to my house on Christmas Eve and leave me gifts. Yeah. And he'd get there by way of reindeer. Flying reindeer. Yeah,
that's like almost exactly the same as me. Big fat jolly guy with a big white crisp beard who brings us presents and comes with reindeer. Can you name all the reindeer?
Yes.
Go.
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen, Rudolph.
Wow, you're an expert. I would have got halfway through that and panicked and started rhyming words. So when do you think the first description, like the modern day description of Santa, came about?
I'm going to say the early 1900s.
If by early 1900s you mean like the 1850s, then yes. But I'm not sure if that's what that means or not.
No.
No,
I meant like...
Because the 1800s is the 19th century, right?
Yes.
So you could have been right. I'm not sure.
But I was not.
You were not. No. Because apparently, prior to that, the three variations of Santa Claus you described, or St. Nicholas, Santa Claus, and Father Christmas, were viewed differently. And like some thought he was like a wee elf, some people thought he was a bigger giant, some people thought he was, a gaunt-looking man. But there was a poem called A Visit from St. Nicholas, which came out in about 1850s, written by Clement Clark Moore, or Moore, depending on how you say that, which talked a little bit about St. Nicholas and described him, and that is the main point on which his appearance has been taken. Now, it is quite a long poem. I can read it if you like, or I can just pick up some main lines. But in this poem, there's also mention of the reindeer as well, so that's where they initially got the names from as well. Okay. Which is kind of cool. So the first line, a lot of people know, or the first two lines. "'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse." Are you familiar with this poem?
Yeah, I had to memorize it in 5th grade.
Oh, so you know it? Oh, challenge. Yeah. I've got it up. Here we go. Kayla, you're going to read.
Okay, I don't remember all of it.
Visit from St. Nicholas. So, I'll fill in where you pause.
Okay.
Let's see it. 5th grade, Kayla is going to recite this to us.
God. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads, and Ma in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled in for a long winter's nap, when out on the lawn there arose such a clatter. Is that it? Mm-hmm. I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter, and what to my wondering eye should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer.
You missed a couple of lines, but carry on.
Okay.
Away to the window I flew like a flash, to open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave a lustrous to the midnight object below. And then what's what you said.
Okay, then what should my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh, 8 tiny reindeer. I don't remember after this.
Okay, I shall continue.
But then I can pick up in a second too. Okay.
Oh gosh, my thing's moving about. With a little old driver, so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came, chorusers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now
Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer, now Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner, on Blitzen.
To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away, all.
Dash away all.
As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with the sleigh flew of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof, as I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. Do you know the next bit? This next bit is where we describe him.
Give me like the first couple of words.
He was dressed in all fur.
From his head to his... Oh, God, I can't remember it. From his... Dressed in all fur. Okay, say that line.
He was dressed in his fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. And a bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack.
Scary, yeah.
His eyes how they twinkled with dimples so merry, his cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and his beard of his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of his pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a reef. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf. I laughed when I saw him, in spite of myself. A wink of the eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings. They turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. Do you know the next 4 lines to finish?
No.
He sprang.
I remember bits and pieces. But...
He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they flew, like the down of a thistle. And I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night. I know the first line and last line of that poem so well, but I've never heard the in-between bits before in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
I am a little disappointed that I don't remember more of it. I'm not gonna lie.
It's alright. I will forgive you. You did a lot better than I could have done. I would have got that first line, and then I could have just made stuff up. But apparently, that is when that poem in mid 1800s was when the modern day, I suppose you would say, Santa Claus was determined, and his facial characters, or his characteristics were born, which is kind of cool. You know, it's interesting. Imagine you could say my great great grandfather wrote the poem, which gave Santa the look he has today. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. There was a couple other things that there was a couple of drawings made in set in magazines, I believe, in America, cartoonists in like the 1960s as well, which illustrated Santa Claus as well, with a very similar description to that of that Santa Claus. So that, you know, again, that's where once it's in a magazine, it's sent around the world, or at least around America. That's what happens. I also
read that Coca-Cola had a big hand in creating the image that is Santa Claus now. So
I heard this too, and I looked it up because I wanted to know, because I've heard that a lot, like Santa's red because Coca-Cola. But but Coca-Cola refute this, and they say that although they have endorsed the redness, and they have since the about 1920s, I think, shown Coca-Cola on their adverts, 1930s, sorry, he's been part of their Christmas adverts in a red suit. He was pictured and spoken about with being in a red suit prior to that. So they probably popularised it, because it was still unsure of what colour the suit was, but they were not the instigators of that, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Because apparently a beverage company called White Rock Beverages had already used the red and white Santa to sell mineral water and ginger ale in the 1950s, 1915 and 1923. So, not the first, but definitely the most memorable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember that Christmas Santa is almost like the pinnacle of Santa Claus.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's been used in their adverts every year since the 1930s, and I think it was animated in like 2001 or something, 1999, 2001. He was first animated to be sort of moving, but yeah, cool. It's kind of cool. So reading that poem though, it did sound like they thought he was a wee elf, not like a human. But I wonder if they made him a human to make him more relatable, and that it was very small and miniature that you could actually fit down the chimney. You know, it suggested that he was like a wee mini man.
Yeah.
And
yeah, you're right.
That like the reindeer was small, wee reindeer, because they mentioned that word sprite as well, which kind of suggests a wee elfy sprite thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but so that's where the modern day Santa Claus comes from. Mm-hmm. And that's, you know, he's the only person I've ever, I suppose, the kind of Scandinavians sometimes use sleighs, but sleighs? Mm-hmm. Sleigh? Sleigh's one of those words that you don't pluralize, right? You don't say sleighs. It's like sheep.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, that sounds
I
good.
think so.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's been part of every Western world kid's Christmas ever since. Yep. Yeah. What other things would you say are related to Santa Claus? When you think Santa Claus, what do you think? Other than presents, because I know that's the answer we all want or hear.
His naughty and nice list.
Oh yeah, his naughty and nice list. So I believe this was a concept brought up after the whole thing about Santa, and it was all. I think I've read this, that it was just a way to get kids' behaviour. There was no real heritage behind this at all. But
that's not surprising.
No, but I guess that makes sense. There was some traditions in the old Santa Claus where bad children would get given twigs, I believe. So it wouldn't be coal; it'd be like you'd get twigs.
There's a lot more questionable things that went on with Santa Claus as well.
Yes, I'm sure. And like the way we used to in Scotland anyway, we'd put out some milk, some cookies, like a glass of brandy or sherry, and then some carrots. You know, and then we'd put it out the night before, and then the reindeer and Santa would eat and drink all that. But leave crumbs, because they need to know he's eaten them and not just disappeared. What did you guys put out? Did you guys put out stuff?
Just cookies and milk, and then there were a couple of times we put out like reindeer food. Yeah, but it was just mainly cookies and milk.
We would always come down, and there'd be half a carrot left, and it'd be having a bite out of it, and it was always fun. Especially as you got older.
My parents, they would they'd put the crumbs from the reindeer food on the front, like in the front porch or whatever, and then like the plate of cookies, they'd like have some bites out of it or whatever. And then one time we set up a Santa camera, and there was like a flashing red light that was Rudolph's nose, and like it's pretty intense.
Did you totally believe it? Were you 100%? Wow.
I was in like either 4th or 5th grade at this time, so it was kind of at the time where I was starting to figure stuff out anyway.
I'm going to pause you there because we're going to have our when you believed chat in a moment. Okay. But yeah.
So we'll wait on that.
Yeah, hold on that one because it's quite interesting because I've got some silly stories about that. All right. So Santa Claus, did you ever write Santa letters?
Yes, every year.
Every year. I pretty much wrote one every year. Even now to this day, my mum sends me an email or a letter, like a text in around November time. Hey kids, remember to get Santa lists in. You know, Santa needs to get them, you know, before Christmas. So blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, we'll do. We'll do, Mum. Will you send it for us? Yes, I'll send it. I was like, okay, come on, cool. So we always send them to our mum, and she'll post them for us. So even now, and I'm well above 9-10 years old now. So that still happens. My mum's the cutest. What was it? Yeah, so the letters. So apparently, thousands and thousands of letters are sent every year. I've got a list of some countries, probably not all of them, but which 2 countries do you think receive the most letters? So this is receive. So this is other countries sometimes send them to these locations as well.
Canada?
Canada's correct.
And I don't know the second one.
The second one's maybe a bit surprising, which has actually got the most, which I really don't know why. But France. So
Really?
Canada and France. So Canada gets 1,060,000. This is 1 year when it was estimated. I'm not sure what year this was. Guess how much France has? I don't know why I'm making you guess. Yeah, it's 1,220,000.
Oh wow,
that's crazy. Why is people sending it to France?
I don't know. I know that Canada gave him a postcode.
Yes.
So
what was his postcode?
H0H0H0.
Ho 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 ho. So yeah, I heard that too, but apparently that's in Montreal, Quebec or something, like Montreal Island in Quebec is the actual location of that. But yeah, I think that's still quite cool. So I think that's why Canada gets quite a lot, because they've given an address. I think Americans not sent them there. Where else gets a lot? As you'd expect, Finland gets a lot. That's, Scandinavian-ish. 750,000. UK gets 750,000. And then everyone else is around 100 to 200. But France gets letters from 126 different countries.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And Finland gets 150 different countries' letters. That is crazy, right? That's mental. But kind of cool at the same time that many kids are sending letters, like properly sending them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we always used to send them. I can't remember where we'd send them. It was literally like the North Pole. At maybe sometimes Lapland. I don't know if Lapland actually exists, but for some reason used to send them to Lapland or the North Pole, and it would be to Santa Claus. And
yeah,
there was one or two times I'd actually I'd write it and put it in an envelope and lick it and make sure my mum never saw it, just because I was convinced. I was like, all right, Santa. So
yeah.
And they're always very well written and very nice. I think I've been a good boy this year. This year I would like a Street Shark doll, please, or whatever I was watching at the time. I don't know why I went to Street Sharks, but you ever watched the Street Sharks?
Yep. No, I have not.
Oh, that's cool. That's good. Apparently some countries used to write letters and then they'd burn them. They'd burn them under the chimney and assume that the dust would go up into the air and fly to the North Pole.
That's weird.
Did you have a chimney stack when you were a kid that Santa could come down?
We had a fireplace, but it didn't actually have a actual chimney.
Yeah.
It had a little pipe.
Okay.
So I was always very concerned that he wouldn't be able to get down. So my parents bought this Santa key that you'd hang on the front door.
Oh.
And it was a big huge key, and it was it was supposed to be magical, and then he could get into whatever house had the key. So
yeah, that's wow. Whoever came up with that and sold it, that's hilarious. We had a gas fire, but I believe it had the chimney, or at least it was close enough to looking like a chimney as I thought it was a chimney. I have no idea. So yeah, that's where we'd put the milk, and we'd put our heads up there looking for Santa, that type of thing. But apparently that tradition goes back quite a few years, actually. It was believed that when Santa would cut off whoever was coming at the time, this was prior to Santa Claus, they'd be covered in soot from down chimneys, and apparently some things used to say they toss coins through the window, but if the windows were locked, he would come down the chimney. And this would have people looking up chimneys and stuff for it. But so it's been about for quite a while, apparently. Which is an odd thing to create. Why have chimneys when you've got doors and windows? But a nice wee addition, I guess.
Yeah, more magical.
Definitely more magical. Especially when he's so fat. It was like a wee paradox. How could this big man fit down? Because he's magic.
And then has to go back up too.
Yeah. And bringing all those presents down. Doesn't make any sense. So what else do you know about Santa?
He has elves.
He does have elves. So they think. Or so they've suggested in more recent times.
Yeah.
And he's got a Mrs. Claus. But I think that's very much a oh, we can't have this man living alone with a bunch of children like things in the North Pole. We must have him make sure he has a missus.
Yes.
And that's it. They always made it that he made the toys. I wonder why they had that. Like, where did that come from? Making toys.
I don't know. Maybe one of the, like, Saint Nicholas or whatever, one of the gift givers. Maybe they actually did make them.
That's a good point. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess so. Or maybe it helps take away the fact that it was the parents potentially, spoiler alert, buying the gifts. Yeah, they made it some. Because I guess when initially the toys would have been pretty easy to make to some degree compared to an Xbox or PlayStation.
Yeah.
What was the first Christmas movie you can remember watching?
Oh God.
That had Santa Claus in it.
I don't know. Maybe the Grinch. No, that doesn't even have Santa Claus in it. I was gonna say the Grinch.
The Grinch does have
like the animated one.
Oh, I've never seen that. I don't know. We didn't have that in the UK. An animated Santa Claus I cannot remember. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I remember seeing
the Santa Claus.
I guess the Santa Claus. I feel like he's been in a lot more pop culture than he actually probably. He's probably been in every cartoon, to some degree. Like it rings. I always remember the Futurama Santa Claus. Have you ever seen that one? So he's a robot Santa Claus and he kills everyone. So every Christmas, people lock up their houses and doors and hide from Santa because he comes out and kills people. I always remember that one for some reason. And The Simpsons, was he in? Like, there wasn't The Simpsons, was he? But he, the first ever episode was the Christmas episode when they got the dog.
Okay.
Like the first ever full Simpsons episode. The Santa's Little Helper one. And what other pop culture of Santa Claus is there? So we've all seen the Tim Allen movies, right? So that's the Santa Claus movies, and then there's Bad Santa, the one with Billy Bob Thornton. And there's the really good one, The Miracle on 34th Street.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen it? So that's the one with the Matilda girl. I can't remember her name.
Okay.
It doesn't matter because she's out of the biz now. But when it was Richard Attenborough, the guy from Jurassic Park,
okay,
and he was Santa Claus, but they never. Well, he said he was Santa Claus, but they took him to court to prove that he wasn't. He was, and the wee girl came up and gave a $1 bill at the end. Oh, I'm ruining it for you, but it's a good movie. You should watch it. It's like a Christmassy movie.
Okay, I'll watch it. Okay.
What else has he been in?
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because Jack Skellington kills him in that, right? No, kidnaps him.
He kidnaps him.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I always get confused if that's a Halloween or a Christmas movie.
I love it, so I'm going to say both.
So would you say that's a Christmas movie?
I watch it for both.
You watch it for both, okay. I guess it must be more Christmas than Halloween.
Yeah. I mean, it does have Christmas in the title.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Elf.
Elf is definitely a modern classic. Well, yeah, I'd say it's modern classic. It's. I know some people would love to watch it every year.
I love it.
Well, my favourite line from that is when he picks up the phone and goes, "Hello, buddy. What's your favourite colour?" I just think that's such an innocent, such a good line. I don't know. I loved it so much. Loved it. What are the Christmas movies? Home Alone is very much a Christmas movie. People would claim Die Hard 1 is a Christmas movie. Although there's no Santa Claus, it's based at Christmas time, so I'm taking it.
Okay.
What other Santa Claus is there?
How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yes. And the other Grinch one, the one of Jim Carrey.
Yeah. The Polar Express.
Oh, is that Tom Hanks as Santa Claus, but not really, but sort of. Is that right?
I've never actually seen it.
I think that's the one when Tom Hanks is it, but he's like, he's not dressed up as Santa, he's not like Santa. Yeah.
And then like I always watched the older, like Santa Claus is Coming to Town. There was that one. There was the Rudolph one with Bumble, the Abominable Snowman. And,
oh yes.
Like all of the Frosty the Snowman, like the, I don't know what year they were made, but I loved them.
I guess it's weird. I think when I think of Christmas movies, I guess it's not really that many that actually have Santa Claus in them. I'm thinking, you know, just movies that I watch at Christmas, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if we're talking just movies I watch at Christmas, we can say Harry Potter. Except, I don't know that they're going to do the marathon anymore.
The marathon?
Yeah, every year there's a Harry Potter marathon for Christmas.
On where?
It was ABC, but now that it's Freeform, I don't know that they're doing it anymore.
Oh, I didn't know this. Okay. Well, we don't have ABC back in Britain, so I wouldn't know. Okay. But interesting. Yeah. I wonder, is that because it used to come out at Christmas?
No, I think it's just because it's something fun to watch and it's magical, so.
If you say so. I don't know how magical it is. Well, I guess it's actually it's very magical. I can't deny that, actually.
Yes. There's usually always a snow scene, so I think, and like they talk about going home for Christmas, so.
Okay, I'll give you that then. Have you ever seen, like, any version of Scrooge? Or like A Christmas Carol?
Yes.
Yes. I like that. I like the Muppets Christmas Carol. I think I've mentioned that in our episode that we spoke about something to do with that. I can't remember. I feel like I mentioned it to you before. But I like them. That's a good book / story. Is it Charles Dickens? I feel like it's Charles Dickens.
I think so.
I'm going to say yes. So I like that. What are the Christmas movies? I feel like there should be more. But I don't know if there is.
That's all the ones. Oh, A Christmas Story.
What's that?
That one. It's... God, who does it have in it? It's the one with the kids and... the family, and he wants a red Ryder BB gun, and you'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Oh, you know what? This is... Okay, so I've been unfamiliar with this story up until about 3 years ago when my little brother married an American. Even though they might have married in but she's been at our house for Christmas for the last couple of years, which is lovely. She brings in a whole new joy to it, but she always wants to watch this movie. Oh, she wanted to watch this movie, and I was like, I have no idea what it is. And it was like, it's her Christmas movie, you know? But we'd never seen it before, never even heard of it, so we were like, what the hell is this? But I'm familiar with that now, yeah.
I hate that movie.
Oh, yeah? Why?
Because... on that same channel, I think it's actually on the same TV channel, they play a 24-hour marathon of it. I had never seen the movie before Drake and I started spending Christmas together, and his family loves to play the movie for 24 hours straight. So after year one of seeing the movie, I was over it.
When it's not your tradition, it's like, no thanks, I'm done.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There's two other movies which I know people consider to be Christmas movies. One, my little brother really likes the movie Love Actually, which is based at Christmas.
Okay.
No, not so much a Christmas movie, but they do have a Santa who sort of sings at one point. And he just loves it because he's a big girl. Not being sexist or anything, but he is. And another one is It's a Wonderful Life. You ever heard of It's a Wonderful Life? My mom loves that one.
I have. I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
I've never seen it. My mom watches it every year, and I've never seen it. I don't know how I've managed to avoid it, but it's a black and white one, so I'm one of these new millennials that like, nah, black and white TV, ugh, just get away from me.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's pretty bad. I just like colour, but it's maybe bad, but I'm like, oh, The Avengers is the best movie ever, when actual it's garbage compared to It's a Wonderful Life, but she's a big fan of that. I guess that's a good Christmas movie. Yeah. All right. The big question. Spoiler alert, kids, stop listening. How long did you believe in Santa, and when did you, like, straight up know, okay, he doesn't exist?
Okay, so probably around 4th or 5th grade, I started, like, pretty much, I was pretty sure at that point. I had 2 younger sisters, so I had to play along still. And I also didn't know how, like, this is also selfish child 4th grader me thinking, if I tell everybody I don't believe in Santa, do I still get gifts? So then I was like, well, I mean, I can play along for a while. So then that's when my parents did this whole Santa camera thing, and they caught him on tape, and we watched it the next morning. And I was like, all right, maybe it could be real. I don't know. So it was just like back and forth for a while during that phase. I don't remember when I actually was like, no.
So what age is that?
Like 4th or 5th grade, like maybe like 8, 9.
Oh wow! So I would say you're a bit young. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's the age when you sort of become aware of other people more and other things and the reality of the world.
Yeah.
At least in like America and Britain and stuff.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
And when was the first time, can you remember, that you straight up knew that your mum and dad were buying your presents?
I don't know. So I had a lot of my friends in elementary school, they stopped believing, and so they made fun of me. So I was like, okay, I don't believe either. I think, so for 2 years in a row, me and my sister asked for some type of animal. And we got either the stuffed animal version, or like one time we asked for a monkey, we got stuffed animal monkeys. One time we asked for a dog, and we got like this like robot dog. And after that I was like, okay, I'm pretty much done. Like,
yeah, it's
why did I not get a monkey and a dog?
I wonder if you'd got a dog, would you have believed more?
I for sure think I would have.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
So I've got two related stories. That one is when I stopped believing. Now, it took me too long to like fully stop believing. So I definitely believed when I was a kid, 100%. Every kid does believe. And then when I became a teenager, so when I moved to high school, which was like 11, 12, 13, something like that. You know, I was still kind of on the cusp. And logically in my head was like, there's no Santa Claus. That's just, you know, I'm a 13-year-old boy or 12-year-old boy. I know there's no Santa Claus. But then, and my mum's going to hate me from saying this, but there was part of my life where I was like, we are far too poor to afford presents. You know, there was honestly part of me thinking, there's no way that my mum and dad can afford to get me an Xbox and Connor, whatever he wants, and Declan and Ruth. And, you know, there's no way, they just can't do it. And so I was convinced. I remember walking down to school with my friends and talking about it and saying to them, maybe, I don't think my parents can. Maybe like the government helps them. Maybe Santa Claus is like the government and they give like money to like families to help them keep the Santa Claus theory alive. You know, it was just me being some sort of weird conspiracy theorist, like 12-year-old. Trying to figure out how Santa, because I knew Santa didn't make an Xbox, but I was like, my parents can't afford one, what's going on? So I was a bit weird. Like, I'd all but stopped believing, but part of me, I don't know if it was maybe just the wonderful side of being a kid still alive or what, but, and I think by 14, 15 you were well aware that it wasn't Santa Claus, but there was that transition period was a bit confusing at Christmas time. I never knew how we managed to get so much, because my mum and dad, Santa Claus has always been very generous.
Yeah.
And but which is kind of our family's taken on that ample now, because we all buy too many gifts for each other. Like the tree at our Christmas time nowadays is more presents around it than we were a kid, because we spoil each other, all of us, and we buy too many presents, and it's just. I spend not that it's about how much money I spend. I go out my way to try and get some nice gifts for my family, and they're all kind of okay-ish to buy for, apart from my sister. My sister returns everything I buy her. It's ridiculous. Once, I can't remember if it was for Christmas or her birthday, I got her a bracelet, which I've seen her wear, not because I was there, which I was happy with, but everything else I've ever bought, she's returned. I'm like, oh god. Or she's like, I won't use this, so just give it away or give it to someone else. Or, but hey, she knows what she likes. So I guess that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was? Oh, the other thing I was going to say about you saying asking for presents. For the longest time, I asked for a Game Boy, and at least I say the longest time. It was probably one Christmas, and I got like I got like a wind-up Game Boy mock thing, and although I played with that. I was obviously too young for a Game Boy. It must have been like the mid-90s, and I was so annoyed, but at the same time I understand why they did that, because I was way too young. But I always remember asking for a Game Boy and getting this weird wind-up toy. Totally not a Game
Yeah.
Boy. What's
That was so frustrating too.
Yeah, because you don't know what's... Yeah, so I think I was about 12, 13, 14. I'm not sure. We just had a bit of a break, guys, because our phones and Skype started working. Just in case that doesn't make any sense, my answer to whatever we were speaking about. Yes. What I was going to ask was, can you remember any of your big presents when you were a kid that you were really super happy with that came from Santa?
When I was really, really young, I got this like vanity set thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the biggest one I can remember. I can remember more once I did stop believing, helping put together Kendall's gifts.
Oh yeah.
So like those are more my memories.
She's
just
actually, she's what, about 10 years younger than you?
Yeah.
So I guess you being 20 when she's 10, that would have been pretty.
Yeah.
That'd been quite fun actually, watching a little girl believe and kind of have all that.
Yeah, so I would like stay up really late and help put together like all the toys. This was when she was like 4.
Yeah.
So I was like 14.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Okay,
that was. I remember more of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about you? What were some of your big ones?
I got a bike one year, a yellow and black bike. So Connor and I, when we were young, we often got the same things, which was often very helpful for my Santa. But so I got a bike one year. That was nice, and so I have another memory. We used to go to church every morning on Sunday and Christmas, as you do. Mm-hmm. And I remember one year I got called up to the altar, and they were asking what kids got, and I got something called a spark welder. So what it was is you had like a base of a car, like a chassis of a car. This was a really cool toy. I kind of wish I had it now. And you had this wee motor that would rotate, and on the end of the motor you'd put like a plastic drill bit, and as it rotated it melted the plastic, and you could sort of weld these pieces to the car, and you could make this car. And I was dead young at the time, so it was like a really cool gift. And when I think back, so what you'd do is you'd weld all these plastic bits on, and then the idea was that you'd ram it into walls and stuff, and it'd fall apart, and then you'd build it again. And it was a brilliant toy, but it was a spark welder. But I was a kid who had speech impediments, so I remember being on an altar and being like, "It's a spark welder," and like I could just see the people in the audience going, "What the fuck did he just say?" This wee kid with this awful lisp who had no idea how to say spark welder. And it was, I remember because my mum was laughing at me, and I remember talking to me about it afterwards. But yeah, I remember that one. And so my very earliest Christmas memory, this is so bad. I have no idea what age, but really young. Connor and I, my twin brother and I, both got remote control cars, but they were remote controllers and they were attached to a wire, so it wasn't really remote control, it was wired. And I remember ramming mine into the back of my little brother's legs, and he fell down and sat on it and broke it, like the day on Christmas Day. And and I'd be all sad and stuff and crying because he broke my toy, but it was my own fault. And I felt so guilty about it. Even I must have been maybe 6, if that, younger probably. And I felt so sad and so guilty about it. And I've never told my mum and dad that, so if they're listening, they may hear that now. But because he got such a telling off for breaking it, and little they know I rammed into him and made him fall back onto it. But yeah, I think it was a yellow car, from what I remember. But yeah, that was like my earliest memory. One of my earliest memories in life. I think that must have been the first time I ever felt guilty about something, because that's for some reason the one I remember. I got so many brilliant toys and gifts and all that sort of stuff. Alright, next big question. What have you asked from Santa this year? Have you asked for anything?
No, we'll be here, so...
Well, it doesn't mean Santa Claus...
really doing Christmas.
Santa Claus will find you regardless.
I know. No, I haven't asked for anything. What about you?
It kind of gets difficult when you become a grown-up and you have money and no responsibility. You tend to just buy everything you want. Like, I've had a job for a few years now, so Santa Claus always gets annoyed at me because I buy myself stuff I want. But I've asked for clothes as normal. I should have asked for a snowboard, but I didn't. But it doesn't matter because I'll buy myself one. I'll probably be happier that way. I asked for a hat. I like a woolly hat for snowboarding. I asked for some undershorts. So boring stuff. No toys, unfortunately. I should always ask for a toy just to kind of, just cause that's what you should do at Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
What's the last toy I got? Oh, my sister got me a cool toy last year. She got me like a make your own computer game toy type thing. So it was like something you would build and then program to like play Tetris on. However, I've yet to use it. And my little brother also got me a really cool thing because it's like one of these pens. It's almost like a 3D printing pen. So you kind of you put the sort of plastic or whatever in the back of it, and it prints it out into like it's almost like icing a cake, but it hardens into like wee plastic things. That's another thing I've got, but I've never used it either, and I need to use it. I should probably use it before I go home this Christmas, and I make him something out of it. But he gave me like 2 or 3 years ago and I've not used it. I feel bad. Is there any other Christmas toys that you've got and never used? Can you think of?
Not that I can think of. Like maybe like clothes and stuff that I ended up just taking back, but
yeah, I once took a jumper back that my sister got me because it was awful. I think it was a last minute buy from her. My mum's occasionally got me some really bad stuff which I've worn a couple of times. I get like Christmas shirts, like a shirt to wear at Christmas, like on the Christmas day, and it tends to be very floral, so I'll wear that once. And I often get boxes, but my mum still thinks I'm a little baby boy, so she'll get me boxes that are too tight, and you can't really return boxes. So I've got a bunch of boxes that don't fit me and never have. Brand new boxes, and what do you do with them? You can't take them to a charity shop. No one's going to buy. You can't give them to Goodwill, so you're sort of just left with a pair of boxes. It's kind of weird. Yeah. What's the best gift you've ever given? Christmas.
Ever given?
Yeah.
I don't know. So Drake and I do this 12 days of Christmas thing where it's the 12 days leading up to Christmas, and every gift has to be related to that numbered day. So like day 11 would have to be related, like the gift would have to be related to the number 11.
Oh, you could use that. You could use that 11 from that movie, that TV show, Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, yeah.
That's the only 11 I can think of.
But we're not doing it this year because it'd be really hard. But so I guess anything from that, because I had to put in a lot of thought, because we also like put a limit on it. So not only is it hard to come up with the days and something that the person wants, but also like all of them have to be under a certain limit too. Then it gets very like,
you have to put
I don't know, like trying to figure out. Yeah,
a lot of thought into it. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool way of doing Christmas. So do you still give presents on Christmas as well? Or is it just 12 days worth of presents and that's it?
So day 12 is Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, I can't remember. So that would just, like, it's just the one on that day.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That works quite nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice. And you don't have to hide things from each other for too long. I always find it difficult. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. What's the best gift you've ever given?
I don't know. I think sometimes I put lots of effort in, sometimes I put very little effort in. I think like the first time I had money, like the first year after I got a job, I spent a bit of time on thinking of things and putting time and effort and money in, and that was quite nice. But I can't remember anything significant. Okay. Can I? I built Vivian a guitar, which was quite cool, and it doesn't work very well. Or it does work. It works fine. Just these slight build problems that make it twang the way it shouldn't twang. So I don't know if you've ever seen a guitar at her house, which is brown and kind of a really poor sunburst. That's one I made her. I don't know. Anyway.
Really?
Yeah. But that's probably like the most effort I've put into gifts, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, I've got some cool ones for my brothers and sisters. I'm sure they've always appreciated them. And my mum, my dad's always the hardest. It's like my dad, you buy him like a walking or running top, and that's like it. He never wants anything. So annoying. I wish he would just ask us for something. And my mum's like, oh, she's got 4 children who all have jobs and earn money. Oh, just get me give me a book and some curling tongs. I'm like, Mum, they've got 4 children. You've got to give us at least 4 presents. We can't just split that thing between the 4 of us. And if we just got us 2 things, she would be so upset. And we're not like, not in a sort of greedy way, but in like, oh, okay, cool, Merry Christmas. I got exactly what I wanted, I guess. But yeah. Anyway, enough about presents. Santa Claus.
Yes. Yes.
Is there? What else can we talk about Santa Claus?
I have some interesting facts.
Yeah, let's have some interesting facts on Santa Claus.
So there's a Santa Claus school.
Whoa.
Where you can go learn how to be Santa Claus.
Oh, serious?
Yeah. I think it's for like the mall Santas that like they kind of like all want them to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's for that.
Have you ever been to a mall Santa?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Every year as a kid.
Oh, yeah? Is it the same as the movies where you queue up for ages?
Yeah, you line up and then you go and you sit on their lap and you tell them what you want.
Huh. I don't know if I've ever done that.
Really?
We didn't read it's maybe becoming a bit more popular in the UK more recently, but following from America. But I don't think I ever did it when I was a kid. I probably did it once or twice, but
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Santa's cool. I wonder what they teach you. I wonder if they teach you how to ho-ho. I bet they do.
Maybe.
Yeah. How to deepen your voice to speak like Santa.
So Santa was issued a pilot's license by the U.S. in 1927.
Okay.
So he's legally flying his sleigh.
Well, 1927. I wonder if that's expired or not.
Yeah. And then Santa is the most powerful mutant ever, as registered by the X-Men.
Huh. That's a fantastic little information. I'd love to have read a comic book which states that.
Yeah.
I wonder why they think he's the most powerful. Because what is he doing that makes him the most powerful?
I mean, so he has like the knowledge of who's naughty and nice, so he kind of has to have like the Charles Xavier type of like mind capabilities,
Yeah, okay.
And then he's traveling all over the world and can fly, basically.
Super fast, yeah, okay.
So can get in and out of houses.
I guess he's got telepathy. He basically can manipulate matter if he can move in and out of things. It's either teleportation or matter. If he's creating toys, it could potentially be matter. He's got an army of elves.
Yeah. Also, it could be that he's also manipulating time too, because it's all in one night.
Yeah, either he's super fast or he manipulates time. One or the other.
Yeah.
I guess manipulating time makes more sense. Okay, I guess he's got pretty impressive catalogue of powers.
Yeah. Yeah, most powerful mutant.
There we go. I love that fact. That's a good one. Good fact.
Thank you.
You get approval for that one.
And then there's been some criticism about Santa too.
What? By who?
Yeah.
Religious nuts.
Well, yes. Yes. Because of its tie to Christmas.
Ugh.
There's the controversy about him being like a symbol of commercialism. And then a controversy about deceiving kids. Which I don't really see it as deceiving kids. Like,
people tell so many worse things to kids.
Yeah.
As in, I think what's worse, like hiding, like people don't tell the kids about sex education. There's some places that don't let don't teach it in schools at all. And I'm like, well, what's worse, telling your kid how to use his penis, or telling him that Santa's real? I'm pretty sure it's better to give them a wee fib about Santa's real, but educate them on their bodies. It seems silly. Or, like, I'd rather my kid know or believe in Santa until he was 12. That's than a lot of other things people teach in other. Anyway, that annoys me. But okay, I understand what they're saying.
I agree.
And the whole, what was the other one you said there? You said the religion and the commercialization. I guess, in a sense, the commercialization, but you don't. Like, when I was a kid, I had no idea how many presents my friends got. I had no idea what they, I'd maybe learn about one thing that they got. It's not as if I'd sit there going, what else do you get? What else do you get? What else do you get? You tell them on one present, so you could just buy one present for a kid, and that's not commercialization, because They've been doing it for years. Before commercials, I guess. Here's me defending Santa Claus, my God.
Yes.
Strange.
The other thing is Krampus.
Krampus. What's Krampus?
Krampus is the opposite counterpart to Santa. He is a half demon, half goat who punishes children who have misbehaved. And he is popular in Austria, Bavaria, Croatia, Czech Republic, Hungary, Slovenia, South Tyrol, and northern Italy.
I don't know where South Tyrol is, but the rest of them, so I know where they are.
Yeah.
Okay, and so he comes at the same time as Christmas?
Yeah, he's like the evil version of Santa who comes and punishes the bad kids.
And what's he punish them by doing?
I have no idea. I just know there was a scary movie about it, so I didn't do a ton of research on it because I was scared of what I would find.
I bet it'd be something like not that much. I bet they actually would have threatened a bad punishment, like I don't know, they would chop your hand off or something. But obviously, it never came to fruition. But
yeah,
that's just a threat, the same as like any other thing you tell a kid to stop them misbehaving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's probably worse than Santa Claus telling them that. Krampus.
Yeah, this evil demon goat's gonna come get you if you don't. Yeah,
if you misbehave, you'll be killed by an evil goat.
Yep.
Yeah. Any more Santa facts?
Ooh, that's pretty much
tell us about your Dutch Santa. Your Santa Claus.
Ah, yes. So, Sinterklaas is the Dutch version of Santa. He dressed... When we were there, he's dressed in very traditional clothes, like kind of like what you would think for like Father Christmas or whatever, like the robes or whatever. He comes in on a white horse. Basically so Sinterklaas and Christmas are separated there. So St. Nicholas Day, which is the day Sinterklaas comes into town, is on December 6th.
Okay.
So Sinterklaas lives in Spain and not the North Pole. And he comes to the Netherlands on December 6th. On December 5th, that's the night gifts are given. So he like comes in, gives gifts, and then like does this big feast the next day. He does the whole thing where he keeps the names of the naughty and nice kids, rides in on a horse, but they come in on a steamboat first, him and his helpers. And his helpers are they're called Zwart Piets.
Uh-huh.
And Zwart means black. So they're these people who they're supposed to be like chimney sweeps, and their faces are black because they've been like up and down the chimneys.
Uh-huh.
But you also have these Dutch guys painting their faces black to dress as Black Pete's.
Uh-huh.
And they dress in very colorful like clothing and caps, and they carry bags of candy for kids, but they also carry a birch like chimney sweep. And if the kids were bad, the legend is they kidnap you, and take you back to Spain.
Oh. Wow, nobody wants to go to Spain.
Yes.
So wait, is there any racism there at all? Is that entirely just a suit and it's just a tradition? Like there wasn't.
So I think it used to be just tradition, but it's very highly frowned upon now. When we were there 2 Christmases ago, they were petitioning to have to be like colorful Pete's, not Zwart Pete's. So like, and we saw a few kids. It was mainly kids with different color face paint, but I mean, most of the adults were still covered in the black face paint, and it was very offensive. Like they're recognizing it as offensive.
But if it's not representing a black person, surely it's not offensive. Like, if you're not mocking them, if you're not, pretending to be them, you can't get offended by it because you're trying to be something else.
Yes.
Because unless it is like representing blackface, and if it's representing being covered in suit, then I don't know. Anyway, that's a lot for me to say, I guess.
Yeah, I think there's the fine line, like where the tradition was that it could be covered in soot, but also it could be just blackface paint. Yeah. So. Yeah, it's the question is, did they create the suit thing because they were worried about racism, or because if that was real, then it's fine. But I know it does have different connotations now, but it seems like
it seems too PC. It's, oh, we can't do this, even though it's tradition, because, but anyway. Okay, that's interesting. What else? Is there anything else? I know that is pretty bad already, but...
No, I mean, I just found it very interesting that, like, we got coal as bad kids, but they get beaten and kidnapped and taken to Spain.
Yeah.
Like, but for one thing, also, Spain is, like, the weather in Spain is a lot nicer than the weather in the Netherlands. So then I was like, would I care as a kid if I was kidnapped and taken to Spain where I could be warm and not freezing?
I bet there were some kids who were disappointed and unhappy with their parents and they'd want to go to Spain. Hey, kidnap me.
Exactly.
To the circus, let's go live in Spain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's just very different.
Yeah. And so when you were in the Netherlands, is that when you celebrated Christmas, on the 6th? Oh no, you said it's different, it's split. So you don't get presents on Christmas, you get presents on the 5th or 6th instead.
Yeah, so Christmas you'll get like gifts like that are more food based, so just little snacks and things like that. But Sinterklaas, like the 6th, is when you get like the toys and everything.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Sound different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. All right. What else do we have to say about Santa?
I have a closing quote that I found that was pretty good.
Closing quote. Let's hear it.
So this is from Edwin Osgood Grover in the Book of Santa Claus. And it says, it's kind of long, so bear with me. Santa Claus is anyone who loves another and seeks to make them happy, who gives himself by thought or word or deed in every gift that he bestows, who shares his joy with those who are sad, whose hand is never closed against the needy, whose arm is ever outstretched to aid the weak, whose sympathy is quick and genuine in time of trouble, who recognizes a comrade and brother in every man he meets upon life's common road, who lives in life throughout the entire year in the Christmas spirit.
Wow, well, check that out. That's very nice. I would love to meet this Santa Claus that he's describing.
Yes.
I think that's a good wee quote, really.
Yeah.
Good on him. All right. Well, listeners, thank you for bearing with us through our Santa Claus chat.
Yes.
Go to our Instagram and Twitter. Tell us the best Christmas present you've received, or give us any stories about when you stopped believing. When you I don't know, any believing stories at least.
Yes.
I think this will be our last episode before Christmas. So in that case, have a very Merry Christmas, and hope Santa's good to you all. And I guess we'll speak to you. Oh, we'll have one in between Christmas and New Year, and then we'll have the New Year episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else to
add? Merry Christmas, guys.
Cool. Well, I've been Liam.
And I'm Kayla.
This has been MamaCast. Bye.
Bye.